They recruited a nerd who cracks locks in 8 seconds for their most extensive heists. Will they be successful?
Hello and welcome to our channel. Today, let's recap and review the heist thriller action movie Army of Thieves. Let's check it out.
Sebastian is making a YouTube video. He starts his camera, then narrates. The story is about a blacksmith, Hans, who loves locks and safes. He was a respected blacksmith in his day, but his life changed when his wife and son died. After the incident, he created his best idea. He made the ring cycle, which only a worthy person could open. The 4 safes were the Rheingold, the Valkyrie, the Siegfried, and the Götterdämmerung, German for Twilight of the Gods. He built a vault to store his grief after losing his family and locked himself in the safe. His workers tried to free him, but he was too good, and Hans died inside the safe and was later thrown into the ocean. Only the Rheingold, Valkyrie, and Siegfried are in circulation, but their location is a mystery. As for the 4th vault, Götterdämmerung, people have yet to learn what happened to it.
The story ends here, and Sebastian uploads the video to YouTube while he opens a lock in 8 seconds. But he can't crack YouTube's algorithm because none of his videos about breaking into safes have received views or comments.
He closes his computer with sadness and gets ready for his tedious work. Then Sebastian leaves his home and goes to a cafe before heading to the bank, where he meets a very annoying customer. While the customer is yelling at him, he sees on TV that a zombie virus is spreading across the United States. He imagines that the woman in front of him is a zombie, so she gives her the check. The next day, he checks his channel during lunch. Sebastian is thrilled by his first comment and view. The comment says he should go somewhere at 8 p.m. to test his safe cracking skills. He's pumped up and on time. A guard lets him in when he says the password. Inside, a safe cracking competition is about to start, and Sebastian is the last person to participate. When the host says start, everyone but him begins breaking into the safe. Then he starts and he makes it to 4th place. Sebastian moves on to the next round, finishing 2nd and onto the finals with his rival, Neo. In the final round, they have 3 minutes to figure out how to open the door. Neo is confident in his abilities. He begins when told, but Sebastian waits. He watches Neo and touches the door as if to feel it.
Time passes, and he starts cracking with 30 seconds left. This guy is badass though. Do you think he'll win it?
To everyone's surprise, he opens the safe and wins. The crowd cheers, but he only sees Gwendolyn, a beautiful woman about to change his life.
Later, he'll learn that she's been stealing since she was 6. She stole her first car at 16 after a breakup. Then at 17, she suddenly disappears from Sebastian's view. He takes the trophy home and puts it next to a family photo.
In the morning, he gets his coffee and runs into Gwendolyn, who has been observing him and learning his routine. She tells him she was his first YouTube commenter and viewer. Sebastian asks who she is, and Gwendolyn says she'll change his life. She says she hasn't been in the cafe for more than 7 minutes and has already stolen a ring, a watch, and a gun. She tells him she's a wanted jewelry thief who wants to recruit Sebastian. Gwen says they'll need him because he's an expert on Wagner. Due to the US outbreak, safes in Geneva will close in 96 hours. This heist is Sebastian's chance to solve Hans' puzzles. Sebastian continues his boring life. While at home, watching the news about America's situation, he decides to do it. Sebastian goes to the address and Gwen welcomes him. Inside, he meets Karina, the master hacker in charge of logistics, Rolf, the getaway driver. The last one is Brad Cage, a real-life action hero and a fan of Nicolas Cage. Sebastian hears from Karina about what they are planning. The Rheingold has 413 million combinations and is in Paris. The Valkyrie in Prague has 235 billion combinations, and the Siegfried in St. Moritz has 72 trillion combinations and is up to $100 million. The wealthy Bly Tanaka owns the vaults. They have no time, so they go to Paris, but Sebastian gets cold feet. They discuss the plan. Sebastian goes first to the bathroom. Gwen follows him, taking the guard's key, and requests a safe deposit box. Karina enters, and the cashier is the only one who could help her since no one else speaks English. At this point, Gwen slips out and picks up Sebastian, and they descend into the vault. Everything went as planned, and they are in the target location. Sebastian wastes a lot of time telling Gwen the safe's history. She's uninterested and wants him to start, but he continues to talk about the gold and calls it his love. He puts on Das Rheingold and begins. The vault opens, and some machinery inside whirs and cranks into place. Sebastian and Gwen are overjoyed. She says it's not about money, but about becoming a legend. Then Sebastian walks out and Gwen follows him, completing their first heist successfully. Delacroix, an Interpol agent, has learned of the team's recent robbery. Beatrix wonders why this is important when America faces a zombie apocalypse. Screw the zombies. Surveillance cameras film the perpetrators, and Interpol knows that they are on a quest for all the vaults, and they only have 2 chances left to catch them. The team is playing beer pong. Brad dominates with a throw behind his back. Sebastian befriends Rolf over sandwiches and chats with Karina and wants to make out with him, but his eyes are on Gwen. Karina tells him that Brad and Gwen are dating, but their relationship is not the best. Sebastian visits Gwen in her room. They talk for hours about themselves, with Gwen doing most of the talking and Sebastian admiring her. Meanwhile, Brad is furious that his girlfriend is busy with that rat. Finally, Gwen asks Sebastian to sit next to her and tells him that after they complete their quest, she wants to go to America. She says the fourth vault, Gotterdammerung, is in Nevada. The next day, the crew travels to Prague, where Delacroix is waiting for them. They are at their next bank, and the crew means business. Sebastian is scared, but confident he can crack Han's safe. He posed as an accountant and announced that he was inside. Unfortunately, Karina's hacking results in his fake ID scanning positive. She guides him through the hallways until she has to cut off the communications. Sebastian enters a room he shouldn't have been in, and the guards notice that he has vanished over the cameras. He meets Gwen in the elevator and they descend to the vault room. As the doors opened, two guards came into view. With a few Kung Fu Panda moves, Gwen beats them with no problem. And so Sebastian begins his work on the Valkyrie. He once again tells a story about the mythology surrounding it. Delacroix assumes the crew is inside since Interpol hasn't found them yet. When the guards lock all the doors after realizing someone is in their system, Karina knows it's time for Plan B. When Interpol enters the building, they realize they're in the wrong one. The vault there was moved to a safer bank. Brad enters wearing a mask and shoots some guards with tranquilizer darts before beating up the rest. Then he initiates Plan B, the robbery. While Brad is busy making robbery scene, Sebastian finally starts to crack. His attempt fails, only one safe handle is out, and the others retract. If Sebastian makes another mistake, the safe is locked forever.
He's struggling but progressing. After a few more tries, a second handle comes out, then a third. He cracks the Valkyrie. They cheer and hug. Gwen and Sebastian almost kiss, but Karina startles them because she needs an update.
Gwen and Sebastian fill their bags and exit. A guard stops Brad as he leaves, but he distracts him and jumps off the railing. He finds the guard, gets shot, and jumps out the window. Despite the chaos, Sebastian and Gwen escaped unseen. They tried to get in as soon as the car moves. Brad helps Gwen, but when Sebastian grabs his hand, he throws him out instead of pulling him in. All the members, except for Brad, looked sad. The police run after Sebastian, so he steals a bike from a passerby, escapes through a narrow road, and jumps on a moving train. In the van, Karina tells them Sebastian is not yet in police custody, or it hasn't been made public. The actual plan was to let Sebastian go after the final heist. However, Gwen is still upset that Brad abandoned him like a sacrificial lamb. Even Rolf was warming up to him. Gwen worries about how they'll finish the quest without Siegfried, but Brad assures her they have enough money to retire twice. Gwen's issue isn't money. She doesn't care when Brad tells her he loves her, so she leaves. Karina follows her and figures out how they could break into the next vault. Sebastian's home, where the girls are waiting, but he doesn't notice. After discussing what to do, Karina yells surprise and causes him to spill his hot drink. Gwen apologizes, but he says it doesn't matter if he forgives her because they'll leave, and he'll go back to his mundane life. Gwen tells him how much she needs him and how he's the only one who could open the safe and how they'll make history. Sebastian sips his drink, agrees, and asks about the plan. In the meantime, the Interpol agent goes to YouTube to do some research. He looks at Hans Wagner, finds Sebastian's video, and realizes the robber is the same man. Confusingly, the channel just posted the video, but the comment is from 2 weeks ago. Another zombie dream for Sebastian, and when he wakes up, they're heading to St. Moritz to end their quest. The last vault is in a casino where Interpol agents patrol. Interpol will move the vault in 2 hours, but they get an encrypted message from Gwen's group saying they'll attack the casino at 5 a.m. Even if it seems too good to be true, they wait until 5 and then go to the casino. There, a manager says they know the risk and have already done something about it. When he asks who told them, she says Interpol and tells him that they took the safe 1.5 hours ago. That was too good to be true. Delacroix fell for the scheme. 8 hours later, Karina called the manager to tell her about the thefts, and the manager changed the time for the safe transfer. Gwen was able to get into a car and hide. She then beat up 2 guards and left them on the road. They made sure Interpol got the fake-coded message. Gwen and Sebastian, dressed as guards, helped load Siegfried onto the truck. In the present, on the road, after his usual warm-up, Sebastian puts on the music. He begins to tell Gwen the story of the safe, talking to the safe simultaneously. Meanwhile, the police leave the casino, and Brad is furious that his team betrayed him, which they didn't do since they split up. He uses Find My iPhone to find Gwen, but Karina tries to stop them, but they still drive off. The police catch her, but not before she texts Gwen. Cracking the safe on the go, Sebastian is on the 6th of 7 handles. After a few sharp turns, he slams the safe and the gears align. He has finally unlocked Siegfried.
Even though Brad and the police are after them, they open the safe and fill their bags. To their surprise, Brad is already waiting for them. He becomes a villain, or a jerk who turns to the dark side.
He tries to shoot Sebastian, but Gwen removes the firing pin. She and Brad argue, and Sebastian loses it. After that pitiful show, Gwen ties Brad and Rolf together and leaves with Sebastian. The cops caught Brad and Rolf. Gwen is glad that Sebastian tried to defend her, at least. He tells her how much he likes her, and even though it's not a good time, she kisses him. She also really likes him. With the money, they make their way to the boat. Unfortunately, Delacroix has managed to catch up to them, so they're standing still with their guns out. Gwen makes a deal with Delacroix. He could have her if he sees Sebastian go. The agent agrees, but Sebastian doesn't. Gwen vows to find him and solve Gotterdammerung together. She screams and he runs off. Sebastian is brokenhearted. When he checks his fake passport with the name Ludwig Dieter, he sees that she gave him a ticket to the same place Gwen is going. She was the only person Sebastian wanted to be with. He was confident they'd solve Gotterdammerung together. Later, in California, a woman and a man go into a locksmith shop and find Sebastian. They show him the blueprints for the Gotterdammerung and ask him if he could crack it. And then he smiles.
This film's attention to detail sets it apart. The sound and how the camera zooms in on the details when Sebastian cracks the safe are marvelous. It pretty much tells me exactly how to open that safe. The plot and storyline are predictable, but the film is still good. Overall, it's a fun movie, and Schweighofer does a great job as a man whose life is boring and lonely until Gwendolyn brings him into a world of danger and adventure. Are you excited for the sequel where they go for the 4th and final Wagner Vault? Please subscribe to our channel and click that bell notification to be notified when we upload. Also, let us know what movies we should recap in the future in the comments down below.